Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay, like I said, I'm kind of, beating the dead horse here type of a thing. Fortunately, I'm not a horse person. I don't have any. I've known a few. I've had a few girlfriends that are into horses. Had one or two that even had horses. Nothing against horses. Horses are very fine animals and quite a bit of fun. The idea of thinking for yourself versus being told what to think. If you've been following along through my videos here, or you've been drifting across one here and one there and back and forth and whatever you feel like, you probably notice that I do give an awful lot of information about what you can actually do. Walk out, try it for yourself. I'm not that preacher going, you must believe me, I'm the only one that can know the truth. Wait, no problem. I might have this Revelations 2:17, the ability to tell that a human being is lying to me the absolute moment that they start lying. It doesn't matter if you are in front of me or you are on the internet and halfway around the planet, your energy pattern will let me know. Okay. I have done an awful lot of investigation for the spiritual realm, and like I said, the spiritual realm and I have, at the moment, have a little bit of an argument going on about the fact that I had to accept somebody lying to me. That made no sense that they did so, and what I'm being put through and what I'm going through really is pretty piss poor. Okay, but needless to say, that's part of the requirements of the job. But the same goes for you folks. Okay, if I can sit here and argue against gods, and whether or not I'm right or wrong, I've got my heart open to listen to what they have to say, and I hear them. There's nothing stopping you from doing the same thing. Okay? I can see that. There is no rule against it. There might be a preacher that wants to tell you there's a rule against it. You've got to go be such and such a place for such and such a time. You got to say 50 billion mantras. You got to climb to the top of the Himalayan mountains. No, man. Any place you are, anytime, anywhere, any universe. It does not matter. You open up yourself, your soul, your heart, whatever the physical body has. I mean, I understand there's crystalline objects and water objects that are life forms. I understand that the sun that shines down on this planet has an entity within that, okay? Or an entity, an entity is kind of in it, type of a thing, but it's not contained within it. Earth, the idea of a Gaia entity exists, and I understand that, okay? The town that I'm in, San Juan de los Lagos here, it claims La Señorita de San Juan de los Lagos is the Christian Catholic Virgin Mary on North America. Okay. You also got Guadalupe, 100 miles over, you got the Church of Guadalupe that's also got the Virgin Mary. It's amazing that the Catholic Christian system has, like umpteen dozen places where they collect major amounts of money. Pilgrims go there and give major amounts of money because that place has the Virgin Mary in it. The spirit of the Virgin Mary. The essence of the Virgin Mary. Whatever, yeah. If you actually talk to that entity that I talk to, it goes by the name on this continent of Lucy, L-U-C-I. You can Google that. It will actually return information of such a spiritual entity. that entity gives me kind of like, it's kind of a laughing slap if I don't say it correctly, which is it has been on this continent for slightly over 1 billion years. I can't say a little more because that's the slap. It has to be slightly over 1 billion years is the translation it wants me to use, okay? If I can argue this stuff with gods, and sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong, what the heck's preventing any of you from doing the same thing? Why can you not sit there and argue the fact that your little kid has cancer and you need a cure? And please, God, reach out and help me. I don't have, the $1,000 or the 10 pesos that the church wants to pray. So here I am with my own heart open to you, Christ or God or Buddha or whatever. I mean, I'm dyslexic. I don't remember names all that well. I just know, and I deal with entities on the spiritual plane, which doesn't use human vocal cord stuff. So your words are only attached to this planet, in most cases only to where, and I covered this somewhere else. In most cases it's only wherever. It's just like I'm in Mexico. So the word Christ is caca. It means nothing. El Cristo. Okay, wow. Yeah. What do you want me to say? Okay, it's a word. It's nothing more than a sound that comes out of the human vocal cords. Okay, it's like a dog barking. A Chihuahua sounds different than a German Shepherd, but they're both barking. Okay, they both are communicating. Okay, you communicate with your heart of what's in your soul. No human being can stop you. The gods, the spirits, the saints will hear you. They listen. They understand. And they will look into what you are actually saying and being a part of. Okay? So, I have my little cheat sheets here to kind of help me remember what I'm trying to say. But I'm not telling you anything that is an absolute that you can't go out and investigate on your own. I am telling you things of my own personal life that might be an absolute that you may or may not be able to investigate. You might have issues trying to go backwards into my past and see something that I did. But as far as any of you wanting to go and talk to spirits, any of you wanting to try this stuff, okay, you cleanse your mind of being taught to be prejudiced. You cleanse your mind of being taught to think that you can't change things. You cleanse your mind of being taught that you cannot talk to a God, and a God won't talk to you unless you go to a certain church or a certain pagoda or a certain temple or a certain rock in a certain hill in a certain mountain in a certain country. You cleanse all that crap out of your head, and you actually open yourself up and try it, you'll find that this is extremely exact. What you produce is what you will get. That's why I say the people that pray to that Bible, and I make the point right here. There it is, a cross. What is the cross? It's a murder weapon. According to the story in this own book, the Jesus Christ person was arrested, was laughed at, had a crown of thorns thrown on his head, was bleeding, was picked on when he stumbled. They made the comment that one person stepped forward to help him out of the whole laughing crowd. So he was not a happy person saying, oh, I'm going to sacrifice myself so all of your sins are saved. No. The church, which is a corporation, it is a business for profit. And if you don't think there's a profit in churches, walk into any church and look at all the gold. all the silver, all the paintings, all the finery. Look at the Pope in his own little town of his own little country, because the Vatican is its own country, folks. The Vatican is not a part of Italy. It is a country within Italy. Okay? It is one of the richest banks that exists anywhere. It has a library that you cannot walk into and just start looking at data. You have to tell them exactly what you want. It's all censorship. So yes, they are a church that is a corporation for the simple proceeds of profits and money in their hands. Okay? Now, I have a Patreon page where I am trying to collect money. You want to give me money for my mouthing off about reality and telling you the truth of what's going on in your world? No problem. Go over there and do it. You just want to watch this and learn and go out there? I'm not going to lose anything on it. I'm doing it for free from this point. It costs me money to run these lights. It costs me money to run my computers and cameras and all that. But I'm doing this because this is something that for me was a joke in a long part of my life. So many people mouthing off about how you can't change government and you can't change religion and you can't change this and you can't change that. You're all taught that way. You're absolute. I cannot change the world. Hey, go read my story about the International Space Station. I wrote a single-page letter in 1983. I wrote it specifically to steal from me the idea by the United States government. I sent it to President Reagan himself. It was in a time period when, yes, you could actually address a letter and have it pretty directly get to the person you were sending it to. Okay? I left off, I put Peter on it, but I never put any last name on it, so it was not trackable. Okay? I didn't put any return address on the envelope, so it was not, oh, this guy lives here type of a thing. Everything now that would get it flagged as a terrorist letter, okay, it would end up in the incinerator. I literally knew that I had to write it to be sold. And then 4 months later, President Reagan got up and announced to the world, and what he said in his announcement was almost word for word the letter I wrote. He left out one or two little bits of where I use my being a little kid comment of, I'm dreaming of going into space. So that part was out, but all the rest of what I said, using the space shuttle to take up something the size of a school bus. He used that line. The first module going up being called Unity to signify the fact that it was a international, everybody working together. He used that line. You check, International Space Station, up there in space. That very first module is called Unity. My choice, my word, my name. Okay? I changed the world with a single page letter because I believed in me. I believed and I made it happen. Okay? So like I said, I'm not teaching you what to think. I'm teaching you how to think.